Welcome everybody to Reaper Reviews. This is my first ever Reaper review. We will be doing a Reaper review on Gamers on Games. Personally, I have watched this dude a couple of times. I enjoy his content, sometimes not enough to subscribe as you can see, but hopefully in the future after a couple more videos I'll, enjoy their content and be able to push forward with them. I think they do very good things, it's just sometimes they have some bad opinions. Opinions are opinions. It could be bad to me, it could be good to you. That is why you're here to critically review this alongside me. I'm going into this completely fresh, but this is a topic that I personally am involved in. I believe Warhammer 40k should be gatekeeped to a certain point. Now, I have a feeling Gamers on Games believes that gatekeeping is a stupid idea, and knowing the kind of conversations that gatekeeping always comes up with, I think we all know exactly what's going to happen here. Now, I am going to give him his own platform. He is going to be able to play out this whole video, all 1 hour, 1 minute, and 17 minutes. I'll pause it within the video, bring up points whenever I need to, and I will give my own opinions. Now, before we start, no hate to Gamers on Games. It's their opinion. They're entitled to it. If they believe gatekeeping is bad, they can say gatekeeping is bad. If they think gatekeeping is good, they can say gatekeeping is good. This is all opinion. This is all a friendly debate. Do not attack people. Do not hate on people for their differentiating opinions. This is all opinions, people. Now, let's get into this video. Man, an hour video is really long, though.
Alright, hey everybody, it is Dave for Gamers on Games. As you guys can tell by my voice, it is still not back up to snuff. I have been gaining and losing my voice a lot over the last 48 hours. Needless to say, it kinda sucks. But it is what it is. Anyway, I want to give the chat a chance to populate, and then we're going to get into it.
That's something I forgot to mention. This was, in fact, a live stream. I didn't get to watch it. That's why I'm watching it now. If you would like to see, this came out exactly 4 days ago. Send some love to them. Gamers on Games, they might have some content you really like. If you're into Warhammer 40k, like I am, this person's really nice. I really like their artwork. Their artwork is really good, and I wish I knew who made their art. I need some more personal art. I need some more flair. This is my first ever review video, as you can tell. I'm not good at this. But I want to give my opinion on this, and I want to show some love. I want to do something for YouTube again. I've been gone for a little bit. I'm so sorry about that, but I just couldn't find a passion for this, and Warhammer might be my passion back into this. So I might skip a little bit ahead to after he's done talking with his chat so we can get to his critical points.
I suspect a lot of the guys who are all like, hey, I want you to debate this guy. I have a feeling they're all going to pile in. And if not, well, simply put, it proves that they really don't want the debate. They just want to act like they want the debate. We'll see what happens. I hope everybody who's filing in is having a good night.
Alright, I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to move on through the video until he starts starting his points, his review, why he has a discussion on gatekeeping, all of that. I understand that this was a live stream, so it's not a critically made video. I might even go and see if maybe he has a re-upload of his points. If so, I'll just watch that instead. Again, completely 100% raw, not even joking. This is 100% on the spot. Wanted to start this review, so I'm gonna be right back. Alrighty, I am back. So did a little deep dive and do a little bit closer look into his recent content. I haven't been that closely following them. As I said, I came across like one or two videos of theirs. I saw the stream. Thought it'd be a good topic to talk about. As you can see up there at my taskbar, I do have 3 other videos that we're going to be watching now. And we're going to watch those before because each of them are much shorter. And from what I've seen with this 1 hour video, which I had to rewind back a little bit, so far it seems like they're doing some points that I don't really agree with, bringing up old lore before they figured out what they wanted to do with the franchise. So we are going to watch a different video, and we're going to watch all 3 of these other videos, and we're going to see how things go with those. And after that, we will return to the stream. I will watch a little bit of it, probably not all of it, because I'm going to give them these other 3 videos, of course, to voice their complaints. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Sorry for this being such a scuffed review. It's just me trying to do it for the first time. I'm not the greatest at this, I know. I did a little bit of streaming, but this is by far something very new for me, and I'm so happy to be doing this. Be right back. And here we are. Let's review Warhammer 40k Gatekeepers again. I will mute myself, I'll give him some time to talk, and I will intervene during certain parts that bring a rise to me, one might say. See you on the flip side, Reaper Army.
Hey folks, it's Dave for Gamers on Games, and we're back to talk about bullying in the Warhammer 40k community, because apparently we can't just address this topic enough, because it will not seemingly go away. And we have talked about it from a number of angles. And we've talked about a number of instances. We've talked about everything from misogyny to outright Nazism. We've talked about it time and time again. We've even covered it when it has gotten so bad that GW themselves have had to step in. Well, this time we're going to have a little bit of fun because we're going to get an amazing TikTok video coming from somebody on the receiving end of all this.
So, pausing it right there, I do know about the Nazi situation in 40k. Yes, that was a horrible thing that happened. I do not condone that. That was really bad stuff. But, bullying? I've been in 40k for at least a good maybe 8 years now, maybe 10. I joined the community with the rise of the games, not much the figures themselves, but I definitely am deeply invested in Warhammer nowadays. I know a lot about the lore, I know about the Necrons, I know about the Tyranids, I know about the fact that StarCraft was originally meant to be a collaboration between GW and Blizzard and all of that. I've been deeply invested in Warhammer for a good bit. Now, personally, my issue with this is that every community has some bullying. To call gatekeepers bullies, I don't know, maybe the person in this video will be a prime example of some gatekeepers that are doing it wrong. In my opinion, gatekeeping is only okay when you're trying to keep people out who are trying to forcibly change your fandom, change your fan base, change things that should not be changed, things that are canonical to the lore and world you're in. A good example of failed gatekeeping would be Star Wars. Star Wars used to be such a big and powerful franchise, and now it is such a pathetic and small franchise due to meddling and pushback from people outside the fandom, forcing in their ideas into our fandom and making us do things we did not want to do. This is why I believe that certain fandoms do in fact need gatekeeping, just not the type of gatekeeping people normally believe. We need to keep the people out who want to change what has already been working. We need to bring the people in who want to embrace the world that has already been made and improve upon it. I'll get into more topics depending on, well, his own opinions. And then at the end, I will give my own opinions on gatekeeping. Now let's get back into his video.
And you know what? Let's just watch it, and I'll see you guys on the back end of it, and you can enjoy, because this is amazing.
This person says, to enjoy this hobby, I won't let bad actors like him ruin it. And this might be confusing, but they're actually talking to me. He then goes on to tag me in a video where he says he supports bullying people to get out of the hobby, which is, let me be perfectly clear, Warhammer 40k. All of this in reply to a video where I said I was going to paint a character differently than the traditional box art. So, you know, the stakes for this situation are high and also extremely real. I was born on the forums, I was raised on Twitter, and I transitioned during President Trump's reign of fucking...
Okay, I have to stop it right there. Why? What does Trump have to do with any of this? What does them transitioning have to do with any of this? I get it. Bullying someone out of a community just because of who they are is wrong. If they were being bullied out just because they're trans, that's wrong. If they were being bullied out for how they wanted to paint their miniatures, that is wrong. I do agree with that fact. That is incredibly wrong. Do not bully someone just because they want to be different from you. That is their product. They purchased it. They can do what the fuck they want with it. They own it. They are the one painting it. They're the one sculpting it. They can do what they want. Now, I also have to bring up the fact that reign of terror of Trump, this instantly brings into the fact that I have a feeling this person is going to make this a very political statement when there is nothing political about this. It sounds more like a person being hateful in a community and trying to force you out just because of who you are. Now, I would love to see what the figure she painted is. Yes, that would be a very cool thing to see. I would love to see the painted figurine. Maybe there is no justification for bullying them out, but maybe the figurine was painted in a weird way. I don't care. Personally, there is no justification for bullying them out, but you always have to see every side. I can tell you right now, their side is probably not the right side. She is definitely in the right. She wanted to do something of her own. Now, I will continue the video after. I'm so sorry for my little tangent.
Terror, you think you can do anything to me? You won't even make videos with your face in it, and you think you've got something that will work against me? Better than you have tried harder and failed worse than you could possibly imagine. So, I guess bring it on. Bad actors are ruining my tiny Warman game! Warhammer 4000 is for everyone, and if your hobby is so threatened by me mispainting my miniatures, bad actors.
Okay, just because someone attacked you does not give a right to attack them back. Yes, if someone attacks you, you are right in defending yourself, but always, my motto is always be the better man. Be the better woman, be the better person. You don't want to stoop to someone's level. If someone treats you wrongly, do not instantly strike back with the same type of poison. Poison on poison just leads to 2 dead people. Use the antidote. Be better. Never strike down. Never hit them with the same type of stuff they're hitting you. If you want to defeat someone who is being a bad actor, the only way to beat a bad actor is to be a good actor. You want to be a good actor. You want to be a better person than they are and make them look stupid because of them being so rude and vitriol and poisonous while you're just being a kind and nice person. Stooping to their level and attacking them because they don't want to show their face. I don't show my face. It's not right. Don't stoop to someone else's level. That's the only critique I can have of her. TikTok, don't stoop down to their level just because they're attacking you. Either ignore them or just be you. Keep going with what you are doing. I will find her TikTok and I will link it in my description as well. See me how her TikTok was in fact in my video. And yes, we will continue with what he has to say now.
So that was utterly amazing. I enjoyed every possible second of that TikTok. And I got to give so much credit because that is delivered with such enthusiasm, humor, sarcasm, belittling, and just, oh, so, so good on all fronts. I love it. And you know what the best part is? You know that they 100% picked up on the 4,000 rather than 40,000 or 40K, and they ran with it, despite the fact.
Okay, another point. Do not, gamer, you should not be advocating for people to be as vitriol to others as they are treated themselves. You should, yes, props to her. She stood up for herself. She showed them that she's not afraid. She's still going to be in this community. Bravo to her. I'm so happy. People like her should be in this community. But no, no, you shouldn't be treating people like that. You don't attack people back just because they attacked first. That is what leads to a lot of people getting in trouble. That is what leads to a lot of people attacking just because they think someone is trying to attack first. You always want to return violence with kindness when it is a verbal conversation. You never win when you stoop to their level. All you've done is proven that you will stoop down to their level and prove them right in the conversation. If they are trying to prove that you can stoop down to their level as much as you can, then they just win once you do. Now, another thing is, he is so proud of the jabs at the community, and that I don't get. One bad actor does not mean anything. Don't be rude to the community. I did pick up on the 4 instead of 40. I didn't mind it. I thought maybe it was just a slip up. If it was a jab at the community, you're in the community. Don't stab your own community. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, we'll continue on with his points. So far, I say she was in the right. She could have handled it a little bit better, but she did perfectly fine. He should have brought up some critiques to her. Now, one thing I also will say about her is that she did not prove her point. She stated that someone did something, and she did not actually show that they did it. She did not show what led to it. She just talked about it, and you can't always take someone at their word. I don't know her personally. I will just believe her for this point and view, and I will believe that she is telling the truth. This did happen to her, and I could see it happening. There are some very vile people in this community. They are the minority. They are very rude, but I do know they exist. Now I'm going to continue the video, and I just wanted to make that point. Do not be violent to people just because they were violent first.
Like that, it blatantly says this is a joke. Yeah. So we just got done doing a whole thing about being called tourists and all that kind of crap. And here we are again. And the funny thing is, this comes in the wake of one of the more popular, accepting and open people on Twitter, painters on Twitter, who has had to temporarily go into hiding because of the fact that they are receiving just an immense amount of hatred. And it sucks. No one should be driven from the hobby.
I agree with this, yes. You should not be driving people out of a hobby just because of who they are. I agree with Gamer's point on this. I heard about that artist. I felt so bad when that happened. I do agree. Driving people out and calling them like that, no, bad. That is the wrong kind of gatekeeping. That is a bad gatekeeping, and you should not be doing stuff like that, no matter what. Now, tourists. I want to make a quick talk about tourists. Tourists are a real thing. We saw it with Star Wars. We saw it with Marvel. It's happening to Warhammer. And what a tourist is a person who comes into a community just to change it. They're only there because they want to make it fit better for them, but they don't want to stay. We saw it with Marvel. for a good example, She-Hulk. She-Hulk was a prime example of a bad show made for tourists who didn't care about the integrity of the actual company. They cared more about being in represented and for their feelings to be put above the actual people who like Marvel. Marvel has gone down the shithole because of attempting to pander to tourists. No, tourists is not just LGBTQ. They're not just minorities, which I am both minority and LGBTQ. It is not about that. Tourists are people who just want to come in and change things. Most of the time, tourists are actually not even a part of the communities that they're fighting for. You can see this with the Latinx whole situation where a bunch of white people are trying to push a new word on Latin talk because they believe it is better and more inclusive, but we say no, fuck you. This happens with everything: culture, media, communities. It is tourism is a thing. It is damaging communities. It is real. Tourism is not just a joke. Tourism is a real thing. Now, yes, people will call you a tourist for stupid reasons. Yes, you could be called a tourist for any kind of reason, but tourists are real in 40K. I know. I've met a tourist. I tried talking to them. I tried playing some games with them. They had no clue what the lore was. They just wanted female space marines without a understanding what a female space marine is. I will not get into that debate unless that debate is brought up in one of these 3 videos we will be watching. I will not be watching the stream today. It is way too long. I need to actually go over that whole stream, trim it down to his discussion points, because it is in fact a stream. Now these are smaller videos, each of them maybe 5 to 6 minutes long. I'm going to be going on small tangents, small rants, my own opinion during this review, and I hope everyone understands that this is my first time doing this, and I just hope to have a very good discussion. I did hear that Gamer on Games likes to do debates. If you would like to, hey, we can have a debate. I'm up for it. I would be happy to have a debate with you, man. If you see this, which you might not, I'm a very small channel compared to you. I barely even have 30 subscribers. I doubt anyone's going to see this, but hey, I'm up for it. Yeah, I'll definitely debate you. Back to your video, man. By the way, great work with the small little cuts and everything. If you have any tips, please give me some.
You know, who doesn't belong there, really? It's a case of this whole gatekeeping thing is completely out of control. Honestly, what you really need to do is you need to gatekeep against gatekeepers. But then that becomes a whole cyclical thing, and that's just not going to work. It's Ouroborean. But, again, calling out this horrible, bad behavior every time it rears its head is going to be the only way to stamp it out. I don't think education can work at this point. I'm usually a fan of education beats hate, but I don't think that's even possible anymore. I think at this point they are so committed to the hatred.
I'm going to bring up a very good point here. Gamer, the second you admitted that you don't think you can educate people anymore, you are proving that you have given in to the hate. Educating is always better than just believing that everyone on a different side of a fence are haters. I, personally, advocate for gatekeeping in communities. I used to be one person who said, gatekeeping is bad, don't do gatekeeping, you'll just kill our community. Then the Star Wars fiasco. Then the Marvel fiasco. Then the DC problems. Every community I was in had huge, massive explosions in them because we didn't gatekeep. We believed that everyone was a part of our community. That's just not true. There are people who just want to destroy what your community has made. There are people who want to do this. There are people who want to break into our bubble just to then kick us out of our own bubble. This does exist. This is real. And no, not all gatekeepers just want to push out all trans people, all gay people, all minorities. That is not real. Those are just hateful people using gatekeeping as a tool to keep their hatred flowing. Real gatekeepers are people who actually care about the community, want the lore to keep growing, and wish for a very powerful and new Warhammer 40k. And personally, I am open to things happening. I'm just not open to the way I've heard it. I'm not open to the way I've heard some things being pushed around. I believe that a lot of what I'm hearing is just tourism. People coming in wanting this to be their community now, when they are juxtaposed to actually talking with the real community. And yeah, I'll give it back to you now.
They are so committed to being vile. There is no other way forward. It is a case of doing everything you can to make sure that they are screened out. If they want to go and play in their own private basement away from the rest of us, and be vile with their Nazi.
Okay. Remember what I said about don't stoop down to other people's levels? Talking about them being in their basement, talking about how they are Nazis. This is not a good way of debating. This is not a good way of showing good faith. This is a way of making people just dislike you to dislike you. Gamer, you never want to do this. Ever. I personally am going through debate classes. I know how debating works, and you never want to stoop down to the level of cursing at your opponent, insulting your opponent. You never want to do that. So when you are talking about the opposition, you never want to be disrespectful. You want to be as polite, as respectful, as good as you possibly can. You never want to show the opposition and you are on the same level of vitriol. You never want to be as poisonous as the opposition. If your opposition is poisonous, you want to be better. You want to do better, and you want to prove you are better. I do believe that you are only doing this because you are fed up with the bad actors in the gatekeeping community. I do believe that you have just been hit back to back to back to back with bad actors. You just need to understand that not everyone is like that. Not everyone in the community is that, and that things are good and bad. Everything is going to have a good and bad side, and the bad people are normally more loud and obnoxious than the ones who are good actors, who want good gatekeeping, and they don't want everything to be bad. So, again, don't stoop down to that type of level. Please just be respectful. Don't call people basement dwellers or Nazis just because you believe they are basement dwellers or Nazis. That's just rude and disrespectful. I believe you're a very nice man. You're probably just fed up with bad actors.
Painted orcs, and they're ultra fascistic and homophobic and transphobic space marines. Go for it. Let them. Who cares? But the problem is that every time we go, well, I don't know, maybe we should let them play, da, 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 and they wind up becoming the public face and public representation of the hobby. It doesn't help anyone. It, in fact, hurts everyone. Believe it or not, it hurts them too. They just can't see it. So remember, when you see hate in the hobby, call it out every single time. Call it out enthusiastically, call it out loudly, and make sure that others help to signal boost your call out. That's all.
I will definitely agree with this. If you ever see someone being disrespectful in your community, call it out. If you're seeing someone being vitriol, rude, disrespectful, do call them out. Do try to teach them that that's not okay. If they do not learn it, just don't interact with that person. Do not let them interact with you or ruin your happiness. If you are having a good time, do not let someone else ruin your good time. Just be happy. Enjoy it. I can agree with some of his points. I can't agree with all of them, but this was a good video. I'm going to watch through the rest of it, see if maybe he says anything more. It looks like he's just going to do a closer. If that is the case, we will move on to the next video. So far, 30 minutes in. Oh my lord. 30 minutes into a 6-minute video. I ramble way too much. I'm just going to let the next one play out all the way before I ramble. I'm so sorry, people.
All I can say. Now, that being said, do not brigade the offender. Brigading does not help. Blocking and muting and otherwise disengaging, that's the way to go. Because as the circles and the avenues around that individual are closed off, they're going to realize the isolation they have put themselves into. Brigading them, getting a mass of people to insult them and call them names and dox and all that kind of garbage, you don't want that. What that does is that's going to cause them to take a dig in action. And then they're going to be harder to get out. Because then they're going to think, I'm justified in doing this offensive thing that I do. Or, oh, look, I am owning talibs. Because, again, this is the manner in which they operate. So, don't give them that opportunity. Don't feed into it. Do everything you can to isolate them. That is your best option. All right, that being said, I'm going to let you all go. I hope everyone has a good day, good evening, or whenever you are.
I do agree. Block people. If you don't like them, if you don't want to deal with them, you just block them. Do not interact with them. Do not attack them. That was a very good point. Now, I'm going to move on to the next video. I'm probably only going to watch 2 of these now. Because I have spent way too much time in this video. I am so sorry. And if Gamer, if you see this, I'm so sorry that I made this such a long video. This is my first time doing this. Jeez, I was not expecting this to be 30 minutes long. I thought this would be like maybe a quick 20-minute video. Yeah, we'll move on to the next video now. See you on the other side, my Reaper Army. Alrighty, we're back here once again with the same TikToker. No, this was not on purpose. I actually did not know that she would be coming up again. But, Did you... I have to do some research. I might do some research into this. They might have a connection. That seems like it might be possible. Because... Oh, did not actually show the TikToker's name. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into... Oh, Titan of Joy. Okay. If you like what Titan of Joy is saying, go check her out. Her works, right? I'm bad with pronouns. I'm bad with names, too. She... Go check her out. She, her, they... Go check them out. Okay? I don't want to be rude. I don't want to disrespect Titan of Joy. This looks like it's just going to be Titan's video. No commentary. Like a tiny bit of commentary at the end. That's weird.
With the Primarchs, let's fucking go! Hi, my name is Jubilee, Titan of Joy, and this is what I think each of the loyalist Primarchs would be in the LGBTQ community. And I'm gonna be a little fast and loose with some of these terms, so when I call Rogel Dorn a butch lesbian, I'm gonna need you to deal with those feelings on the inside that causes you on your own time, okay? Rogel Dorn is a butch lesbian. I mean, he really likes building stuff,
Okay. I take back. I'm not gonna watch this. This is a pointless video. This just seems to be trying to incite anger in people. And yeah, no, I can see that. I definitely can see this being just trying to poke at the fire. This looks like it's that she's just trying to poke at the fire. I thought this would be a good video, man. I just went for like 30 minutes on one damn video. I can't believe I did this. So, I'm not going to finish her video. I am going to skip to what he says because I would love to hear what he says about her points of just calling lore-based people butch lesbians, which doesn't work. In all honesty, you can't be a man and a lesbian. That's just not how it works in reality. Yeah, whatever. I'll get into a different point later. in his main stream, there is a point I would love to critique. I'm going to go back to it just so I can critique that one point, and then that will be the end of the video, my Reaper Army. I will be doing some gameplay videos later on in the future, but hey, for right now, we're going to have to deal with me being a little ranty man. And yeah, we're going to let him speak, and then we'll move on to his other point, which I would love to debunk as well. Let's get into this.
I honestly don't know if I could love this TikToker anymore, but if I could, I would. So, make sure you give her a follow.
Okay. I guess we were just wait. I am gonna check something. Give me one moment. No, I don't wanna. I'm gonna. Let's see. So here's the Primark part. So okay, yeah, no, yeah. So a couple of days after his original video, it looks as if she poked at the flames once more. So she definitely is poking at the flames. I'm glad that I was not just seeing things. I'm glad that it looks as if gamers saw it as well, that she was trying to bring those flames back. Kindle the flames, I think is the saying. I don't know. I'm not very good with sayings. We will continue this video now.
Oh, is this not gonna...
I'm glad to see we're both scuffed at this.
That'll work. Alright, let's take that. Let's stretch you out. Let's move you over to here. I want to give, pardon me. Want to give some credit to, Bits, Hammer for, making me aware of this. I've seen this image 1,000 times. God, I remember seeing this one in, rule books and, artwork, when I was at, Gamers Realm as a kid. It's very interesting how they don't want to come in here.
Sorry about that. Just trying to skip ahead to the point I saw earlier when I was skimming through this video for when he starts his actual talk on gatekeeping. Maybe if this is a good... Oh, hold on. Let me
Very
pause
interesting.
Maybe when we can, we will get back to watching this stream later on. If this video does good enough, I'll return to the stream and watch the whole thing and put my own opinion on everything he says. For now, we will continue with this one.
For making me aware of this. I've seen this image 1,000 times. God, I remember seeing this one in rule books and artwork when I was at Gamers Realm as a kid. Damn. It's very interesting how they don't...
Okay, this is something he did a lot in the stream. It's why I decided I didn't want to do the stream. He had a lot of empty space. I understand he probably was drinking tea. Sounds like he has a cold. Maybe he's a strep throat, some throat pains. So I get it. You need that time. You need that moment to take a breather, a nice sip of tea, maybe ice cold water. I'm trying to get to the point.
They don't want to come in here.
It takes a while for him to get to the point. I want
See
to
if that changes.
One thing I will state is that he does seem to be trying to antagonize someone. Uh, Hopefully antagonize someone into the actual video itself. I'm gonna skip ahead until I can find it. I'll be right back. Here we go. I think I found the part I was looking for.
Debacle that is currently being regarding the gatekeeping debacle that is currently ongoing. All right, so for those who do not know, there is a TikToker that I did a video of. I did a video response to, and that is kind of what kicked this whole damn thing off. And I gotta admit, I did not anticipate any of this. Like, I had no idea any of this was going to be coming down the pike. What I thought was going to happen is, hey, I can do a response video. We're going to talk about the fact that gatekeeping is bad, and that's going to be the long and the short of it. I had no way of knowing it was going to explode into a massive event. And here's the funny thing. None of these guys will tell me how they found out about this, or how they found the channel. Because it's weird. It's like...
So, personally, I will say how I found your channel, gamer. I actually found you through the grapevine of Warhammer itself. While going around and looking at Warhammer-based things, I ended up stumbling across you. And, yeah, that is how I found you. It's, funnily enough, the TikToker we were just talking about, I actually did find that video. All of this is fresh. All of this is right up the grapevine. I actually had no clue there was a whole controversy around this. And, yeah. I didn't actually know this. This is good for me to know. I am sorry that there are people maybe harassing you. I mean, I can look through your comment section, see if maybe there's anyone harassing you. But this thing seems to happen sometimes. And yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. I do know you have some strep throat. I did hear you talk about that. And I hope you get better, man. I've had strep throat. It is horrible. Some good remedies is honey tea. I've heard a warm cup of honey tea can help loosen up all of that gunk in your throat and help it soothe a bit. Ice cream and cold pudding is good for it. And personally, my favorite would be green tea with some honey extract in it. Green tea with honey extract on a warm day in a nice warm mug really helps with that strep throat. Trust me, I've had it before. It's really a good remedy for this. But I'm going to let you keep going with your point, my man.
I literally posted it. I think it actually was up for a full day. And then when I went to bed and I woke up, my comment section was flooded. I've already told this story, I believe, in a different stream or a different video. But that being said, it took me no less by surprise. It's not something that normally happens around here. I'm not upset about it. It's just not the way it usually works out. So, the interesting thing that sort of happened. Hold on a second. Let me take another drink. So the interesting thing that happened is, huge flood of messages. And when I say flood, I'm in no way being hyperbolic. I believe there were over 100, maybe 150 messages right off the bat. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot to get through. So, what I did was I started going from oldest to newest, because I was like, all right, easiest way for me to get through this is probably oldest to newest. Everything will just file in, because I had to do it through the app, the YouTube Studio app. And I'm like, all right, this will be the easiest way to file things.
Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead. He's talking about the flood of comments. I'm actually looking for his discussion on this picture he's looking at himself. I want to discuss this, and then I'm going to come back to this entire stream. So, give me 1 second. my Reaper army, and we will be right back. Alright, here we go. I found the part. Now, in between this and the rest of the video, he was talking about some personal problems, people attacking him, things like that. I will say, attacking someone's child is heinous, despicable, and horrible. If you attack someone's child, you don't deserve to be in this community. Ever. You who do that type of shit don't deserve to be in this community. You don't deserve my respect. People who go after children don't deserve any type of respect. Not in a debate, not in discussion, not in anything. He made a joke about, he just said the character's name, the advisor of Jabba the Hutt. I didn't get it. I'm not going to talk about it. Don't attack people. Don't attack their children. Don't make it personal. This is just plastic figurines and a world of fantasy. Do not attack people over a fantasy world. You can debate them. You can talk to them. Do not harass. Thank you. And here we go.
X. But here's the thing. They consider the existence of the LGBTQ plus community to be political in and of itself. And here's the thing. If people want to paint up their stuff the way they want to paint it, that is to them is political. I simultaneously was getting comments of, you can paint whatever you want, but you can't paint pride flag or any other progression or progressive paint schemes on your miniatures.
Now, I am personally bisexual. This is something I do not hide. I am proud to be this. Now, I will personally say, I hate the LGBTQ community. I hate the community, not the people, but the community. That community is heinous, disrespectful, and disgusting nowadays, and I despise what that community has become. That community is mostly viral hatred, and I do know it is a minority of them, but that minority is so loud and always seen as right by most of the people in the community. I don't like that community anymore. Even though I should be a part of it, I refuse to interact with that community. I will say, go ahead, paint LGBTQ flags on your miniature's shoulders. The thing is, people don't have to play with you. If they don't want to interact with someone with a figurine that has a flag on it that breaks the idealism of Warhammer, that is their choice. They can choose to play with you or not. And if you're going to make minis, normally I would say if you want to make a mini with its own unique design, go right ahead. Many people will be fine with it. But there are some people who just want lore. They just want lore accurate minis, and they want to have really nice Warhammer fights with these minis, and they want it to be as close to what Warhammer really is, the Grim Dark. And those people probably aren't going to want, you know, Space Marines with the American flag, the Trump Primarch. They're not going to want the, what is it? I know there was an Obama one at one point. I have no recollection of what it was anymore. No one, if you remember what it was, please remind me. I can't for the life of me remember what the Obama one was. But some people just don't want to interact with things like the LGBTQ flag in their fantasy world. And I can understand that. So you can't expect people to want to interact with you if you have unique minis. I personally don't like the people with the unicorn minis, the weird little Warhammer unicorns. I do know some people like facing them. Some people actually do have them. I don't like it. I don't like the pink Marines. I don't like the fake Marines. And now, if it's for fun with friends, I don't care. I like some of their weird stuff. Like the Tyranids pretending to be Space Marines. That was a funny one that one of my friends did. We had one funny inside joke of Chaos Space Marines that don't realize they're Chaos Space Marines. Things like that. But Don't expect people to want to play with you if you do things with your minis that not everyone agrees with. Technically, I don't even agree with the LGBTQ flag, like the one you currently have on your table. I think the rainbow encompasses all. The rainbow is the perfect flag. It shows that everyone is included. Adding on new colors for no reason was stupid. That flag is stupid. This is coming from someone who is a part of that community, and I will admit that flag is stupid. Okay, I'm going to let you continue with your point now. And actually, the LGBTQ community is now a political community because they've forced themselves into politics. I would love to hear your debate on that, but no. LGBTQ community is now so political that you can hear stories about them on the news almost 24/7.
And I'm like, that's not, these two things are immediately contradictory. Obviously, they don't give a shit, but, you know, the fact that the hypocrisy is on plain display is there. Furthermore, the fact that the TikToker that I did this response video to, in their TikTok, not only says it on purpose incorrectly, they say 4,000 at one point instead of 40,000, but the graphics specifically say they will latch onto this, or this is bait. I forgot what the hell it says. You know what? We're going to watch the video anyway so you guys can see. The fact that they called it, or she called it, I believe the TikToker uses the pronoun she. So let me switch to that. My error.
We've already seen this. I'm gonna see. Oh, he doesn't show it.
Buddy, we don't hear anybody. But their initial statements to not only her TikTok, but my response to her TikTok is just virulent hate speech. It does really undercut what they're trying to get at. And it really lays...
Okay, hold on. This person right here. This is a good example of not how to respond to people. This is rude. This is just disrespect. I will make my own comment after this. It's whatever. This is not what you do. You don't want to break somebody. You want to have a discussion. Now, it is like around this point that he brings up the point I want to talk about.
To help do the thing. Now, the reason I've had this, before I do that, the reason I've had this up is one of the most common things you get from gatekeepers is the lore is sacred. Nah, the lore isn't sacred, man. I know you want to think it is, and that's fine.
And that is what we're going to stop on. You see this, right? This picture in front of you. This is what we call old Warhammer. This is what Warhammer was before the makers, GW, knew what to do with Warhammer. Everyone has this phase. You always have that, what am I gonna do phase. This was Warhammer's what am I gonna do phase. This was before the lore was concrete. This is before all of the races were concrete, well known, and what they are now. This does not represent 40k anymore. This is outdated. This is old lore, and this is no longer a part of our system. The thing I want to bring up is, why are we using outdated lore that was made before there was a finite, real idea behind Warhammer? This was before we knew what we were going to do with Warhammer. This is before Warhammer hit its solid point. I believe that this here is not a good example for your point, gamer. Along with that, this just proves why some gatekeeping is important. You truly think that just because old lore was replaced with new lore, new, more well made, elaborate lore that is all made for a specific, unique universe, that we should just change it. This was non finite lore. I'm going to use a game like League of Legends. League of Legends had old lore, and it now has new lore. The new lore is in place, there for the long haul. They took the old world and they destroyed it, crushed it up, and made it into something new and permanent. That's what Warhammer did. They crushed up that old Warhammer 40k and made something new. They made the Warhammer 40k universe we are all now used to. Taking that and destroying it again would break the point of it being a permanent lore now. This is something to build on, not break down. Now, female Marines. I know that's what you're bringing up in this. Female Marines could work if there is a good, lore, accurate reasoning for it. There are currently 2 Primarchs we do not know of. If one of them end up being a woman, there you go. A whole regiment of female Space Marines, where the gene seed makes females easier, but males harder. The thing is, it would be the same thing. Instead of a sausage party, it's a taco party. It will be all women. There will be no men. It will be this one regiment of Space Marines. Not every regiment of Space Marines, just this one regiment. That could work. People would be fine with it. The thing is, that's not what people want. People want all regiments to have female Space Marines. It just won't work with the lore. You can make a good lore reason for why it can happen. Either makes female Space Marines so ungodly rare that seeing one is like seeing a damn unicorn. Or just do where one of the Primarchs that we currently have no info on is a female and make their whole chapter women. The thing is, they're going to look like other Space Marines. If we use male gene seed, because it's going to make them look as manly as possible. So, your female Space Marine will just be a worse Space Marine. That is why I think having a female Primarch would be better, because then you have your whole gene seed of female Space Marines specifically genetically made to be as great as their Primarch, who was a woman. This is what I believe. I believe anyone who believes otherwise should be pushed down on their opinions that all regiments deserve females. And the idea that there is a low representation of women in Warhammer is bull honky. Eldar is a female-based faction. Women are supreme in the Eldari. Space Marines don't have anything, sure, but the Imperial Guard do. There are many powerful women in the Imperial Guard. Sisters of Battle. The Sisters of Battle are a mostly female faction. The Tau have many amazing female characters as well. Many factions have women in them. Why is it so bad for one faction of men only? I don't understand. No one's complaining about the Necrons. The Necrons are mostly men. There's a couple females, of course. The Orcs have no gender. They do, of course, identify as men. Actually, I don't know why the Orcs all identify as men, but they do. And no one complains about the Orcs. Is it because they don't have dicks? Maybe. But I digress. Female Space Marines don't work. This has been an hour of me talking. I would love to debate you if you ever want to, gamer. But for now, this will be the end. Have a happy day. Have a great life. And remember, don't let the Reaper touch you, because then that's the end of it all. Have a lovely day.